Aloha all. This is podcast 53. I'm calling this Reaching Out for Help. You are not alone. If you're listening to this podcast right now, I want to give you a moment of praise. The title, Reaching Out for Help, is vulnerable. It's real. It's affecting many of us. This topic resonates to so many people in these times of uncertainty, of struggle, of feeling hopeless. When we learn to reach out to a healthy authority, someone we trust, be it a close relation, a friend, a counselor, that's 50% of the battle, and you're on your way towards healing. In AA, NA, Al-Anon groups, I'm very familiar with them through the years. Showing up at your first meeting is the hardest and the biggest task. It's the biggest step towards moving forward. Listening to podcasts or booking time with a friend to talk and confide and share, or scheduling a session with a professional shows you're taking these steps forward. Breathe that in. I've often said in my other podcasts, one of my quick self-care tools is notice when you're breathing in, notice when you're breathing out. It's an inhale and that breath of ha. That sigh of relief, that clearing the pressure off the heart, just that quick sigh. Ground in your body, check in, see where you're at. What is happening? How is Samana today? What are my two feeling words? Learn to check in and acknowledge. It's like we're all looking for our partner, our parent, our priest, someone, our teacher, our roommate, or whoever it is, our child to give us that attention and all that, see us and hear us. And it's too much for any person to do this all the time because they can't read our minds. So for us to do that check-in at least once a day, in the morning when you wake up, 3 times a day, do it at lunch, do it at dinner, try to do it in a patterned way where you're checking in every day, saying, what is happening right this moment? What are my needs? And if you can't tell the feeling, if that's not so clear to you, then what is the sensations in the body? Is there pressure? Is there tightness? Is your breath shallow? Is your heart beating fast? Do you feel tightness in your jaw? What is happening? But checking in. Because doing these self-care tools, you're going to find that you start to feel less panicked, less anxious, less depressed, because you are giving yourself that one-on-one exclusive attention throughout the day, that we're looking for someone else outside to do that, and they're not either, because we're not able to communicate it, or we don't have them near us, or we don't have those healthy resources. So let's look at this. So majority of my counseling clients, they express these feelings of depression, anxiety, anger, fear, guilt, and overwhelm. If you find yourself saying that word overwhelm a lot, that means that you're saturated with external stress. There is too much happening, and your internal system is not strong enough to sustain this. It's out of balance, and it's going to start showing in deterioration with a foggy mind, with health issues compromised, and with erratic emotions. So I want you to know in these times, this is very common to everybody. You are not alone. Anyone with any consciousness or moral goodness has a sense of when they are off the mark, as they say, not meeting their personal expectations when you're not meeting your own expectations or feeling lost, and asking for direction. This is the point. This is where we're trying to get, is to see that I am beyond my abilities and I need help. Our politics in America, mixed with daily doses of COVID realities, are enough to throw the most anchored individuals off balance. Now we add our personal challenges. We have financial issues. We have family issues, ailing parents and loss and death, and partnerships that are challenged, that are needing more attention, but you're not able to meet it. Personal self-care, which frankly often doesn't even make our top lists of have-to-dos or necessary. And you'll soon discover, on your way to health and wellness, this is not any longer a choice of if you care for yourself or check in with yourself, but how consistent you can be to experiencing this and starting to notice lasting results. I'm here to offer you insights into systemic, chronic old patterns that are coming up repeatedly throughout your life, or they're becoming constant, and feelings and beliefs like this will always be this way, or this is never going to change or happen. This will never happen. So that always and never. Notice those words. If you find yourself thinking or saying similar phrases, you are stuck in your limited, boxed mind of patterns, and you need to initiate your greater collective awareness. So, looking from a higher perspective, as if you're looking down from a mountain and observing these behaviors, this distance helps with perspective in taking the sticky emotions, the cloudiness away, taking that out of the equation. Our awareness is holistic and interconnected to mind, emotions, and body. All levels of our awareness can amplify at different times these imbalances, or it shows its strength and the health of our system, of our being. Many times, a beneficial approach is detaching yourself a bit from the stressor, from the overwhelm, by visualizing a loved one has come to you with this same issue and they present it to you. And how would you assist them? With your big, wise heart, how would you advise and help them to find more peace and to let go of their suffering? Hearing the majority of humans on the planet suffer with similar issues as us helps in a way that it isn't so unique. You're not alone. Also, this takes guilt, self-judgment, futility away, and brings hope and possibilities. The phrase, "this too shall pass," is one of my favorites. It's a truth. With all of the stressors from COVID and politics, the environment degradation, the racial inequalities, our place in how we fit in this world is mind-boggling. It's too much. It's overwhelming. Our minds are designed to create solutions. This is our nature. This is how it works. Yet often in these times of uncertainty, it's impossible to create any solution. It's beyond our ability. Our only remedy is accepting of what is and really bringing tenderness, this self-tenderness to ourselves and those around us, to this sense of helplessness, to the lack of control we're feeling that is tight in our body. If your personal challenge is a relationship is ending, either through death or divorce or separation, or you have health issues, or seeing your world as you know it is changing drastically. What are your tools? What is within your control and choice? An exercise I've recommended during times of anxiety or emotional turmoil is to ask, what is your greatest fear in this moment? And write that down. Let that sink in for a moment or two once you can write that. Because we're trying to dispel it. We're trying to take it from the dark and bring it out where we can see it, where it's something that is not a fear that's unknown. We can see it. Then write down if or when this happens, what are some steps you can practically take towards feeling you're in control and choosing this new offering, this new perspective? Often in counseling, I listen to my clients and hear their grief over their present circumstances, their challenges, their conflicts. Yet I also hear faintly where they knew it was coming, or it was for the best, or somehow they started seeing from their spiritual soul perspective. They were no longer learning from this situation, or it was no longer appropriate to who they are now. Not who you want to be, but presently. That is our true reality. What is now? Who are we now? As these changes happen often it feels like it's not our choice. And what happens is our soul begins accepting a little bit at a time. And we can sometimes see little glimpses of this new possibility, of this new life, perhaps where new seeds of intention can be planted, and soon they'll begin to sprout and manifest. The result is we feel our current needs are met more with minimal or no suffering necessary. Once we move into that possibility of what is this now, not what it was, of reference. My beloved meditation teacher, George Kinder, often spoke about suffering. He gave the example of if we're sitting still meditating or doing whatever and we think, ooh, I'd like an ice cream. There's nothing wrong with thinking I'd like an ice cream, even though I don't have ice cream. But that's normal. That's what gives us the thought of, ooh, I like that. This is a desire. Maybe it's a need, and I'm going to go get some ice cream. But if we sit there at home or whatever thinking, ooh, I'd like an ice cream, and then every few moments we're thinking, I really want an ice cream. Why don't I have ice cream? Why can't I afford ice cream? How can I get ice cream? And it becomes this whole ordeal that he said if we think of something we want that isn't already within our grasp, that's a natural human state. Again, this often shows us our wants and needs and desires. Yet if we keep bringing that same thought back to us, like could be, why did that relationship end? Why do I have to move? Why did I get laid off from my job? And we just keep bringing that back and back and back, where we're spinning with that, where we're beating ourselves up and suffering. When we repeatedly think about the same cyclical loop of thoughts, then we are causing an unnecessary suffering. Without accepting it, we need to see when something changes and what it is now. What it is now. What is this moment? What am I feeling? who is Samana right now? And then take steps, one baby step at a time if that's all you can do, but towards this new awareness, this new reality. When we stay locked in suffering, that is that loop that goes on and on and on, where you're not accepting what is, you're not making steps forward, you're not feeling like you're in a choice, you're feeling like a victim. This is what I say. How much time can you afford to waste till you find peace and happiness? When we're truly ready for help, we humbly acknowledge that we are where we're at and cannot move forward because we've exhausted all of the skills that we know up to date. So asking for help to gain new insights, greater awareness of why it is the way it is, helps deep acceptance of what is and gives us strong footing to move forward one step at a time. Sometimes a necessary step is being okay that you don't know what to do and that you need help. When that is fully felt, when you bring that tenderness to yourself, you begin to experience a shift and a movement happens. Life happens. Joy, curiosity, and new experiences of growth are possible and now probable, regardless of age or circumstance. Really take that in. Really see that we are never stuck. We are never at our end. It's never over till it's over. So any of you, depending on your age or your love of jazz, that know Dizzy Gillespie, he was a Grammy Award winner and famous jazz musician and composer from like the 1930s through 1990s. He died in the early 1990s. He said, "It's taken me my whole life to know what not to play." I love that phrase because it's not just being a musician, it's us trying to get it right. Like, how many times do we have to do something? Or how many things do we have to experience or explore to see that's not who we are? That doesn't fill my needs. That's not what I want. Being human is challenging. We have to keep forward, sometimes failing, sometimes falling, sometimes losing what we believe is everything. Then with a little time and acceptance, that light comes out and we learn, we grow, we see. We couldn't possibly ever lose everything. When we are too attached or identified to a person for our happiness, to a job, to a status, or to a label of who we believe we are, I find that the universe, God, our higher self, the law of attraction, whatever your beliefs are, tend to intervene, and it feels like something's being taken from us or was taken from us. And what's actually happened is when we remove whatever that fixed point of focus that wasn't ourself, that wasn't authentic in the moment, on whatever or whoever it was, this process of perceiving this is always an absolute, this comes from our ego state. One can never grow spiritually or emotionally or as a human being from their state of ego, because the ego is all about selfing. The ego is about desire and satisfaction now, in the moment. It's about exclusion of others' concern, of taking into consideration what is the highest good for myself and all involved. That comes from the soul, the spirit. The greatest moments and miracles of experience happens when our true nature shows up. Sometimes we can only see what is buried so deep within when all else falls away. That becomes the blessing. When it's all taken away, when the person, when the circumstance, when the business is all taken away, after that adjustment, that shock, that, wait a minute, nothing is as I know it, we begin to see that our soul's purpose or our true nature comes up, it moves forward, it shows up. That can never be taken from us. Our true nature, our soul, it could never be taken from us. Our path is about discovering who we are when it doesn't have to do with any external factors or people. We are parents, we are partners, we are part of a co-workers, we are all those things, yet that doesn't define us. That is one of the parts we play, but it is not our essence. That insight into our essence, into our soul's nature, our soul's gifts, how we appear to others when nothing else is tainting it. This becomes our strength and our gold. And this is also what motivates our eternal perseverance. Humans are beautiful, complex, compassionate, and resilient creatures. In these challenging times, this is the perspective I choose to see in myself, in my clients, in everyone I love, everyone around me. As I drive down the street and see people on their bikes or walking or with their strollers or in the grocery store, I look around and I take a moment of appreciation and I see these compassionate beings. I see everybody wearing their masks, everybody doing the best they can. This is what helps me stay balanced with an open heart, a curious mind, and feeling capable of adapting to whatever is presented in front of me. It doesn't mean it doesn't throw us down for a moment. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. But we feel that tenderness. We feel that loss. We feel that things are not the same anymore. And with tenderness, with compassion towards ourself, checking in throughout the day, knowing that I'm vulnerable, that I'm tender, that you're having a hard time. Taking those breaths in, checking in, journaling when you need to. These are the tools. Asking for help. I need to connect with you. I need to go for a walk. I need to call my counselor. I need to check in. I am in a blind spot. I need help. I need to ask for help. When we all endure together, know that we're not alone. When we learn to ask for help, what's the worst that can happen? Spontaneous joy, a beautiful new life beyond your wildest dreams. Yes, it will be different. And I guarantee it, you will find your true essence will find a way to adapt to whatever is in front of you. Person, places, or things. You are eternal. I hope that brings some peace, some ease, some healing words to some of you out there that are listening to this. My whole intention for these podcasts are to bring ease. And also professionally, I offer insight counseling with an unconventional and highly effective method. My sessions offer deep listening. I will help with reprogramming of old belief systems and disruptive emotional patternings. Together, you and I, we will unfold a new plan with baby steps towards a much more satisfying, relevant life to who you are now. and who you are continuing to evolve into. If that resonates with you and sounds like something that you would like to experience, I dropped my prices from 100 an hour to 75 during COVID, or I charge, if you do 4 sessions, 1 hour a week, it's only $250. We do this virtually. And I do have, any of you that know about this, there's several of you out there that listen that have taken this. So in the past couple of years, I was charging $500 for this, and I decided again for COVID, I'm going to drop this to $250. And this is a 30-day total transformation cleanse of body, mind, and emotional detox. So this is going to be a small group. I'm only going to take up to 10. If we have 2, I'll do it with 2. It doesn't matter. I have 2 already signed up. Yes, what this is going to be is it's going to be like a bonding time. So for 2 hours on a Thursday night Central Time from 7 to 9 p.m., we're going to do this September 17th, 24th, October 1st, and 8th. And it's the 250 plus supplements, pure encapsulation. It's a 30-day detox. Supplements that are good for all blood types, all whatever's going on. It doesn't interfere with medications. And I give you a discount, and we'll ship that directly to you. And we'll talk about that. If you're interested, contact me. But this will consist of, we will do a check-in every week, seeing how you're doing on the cleanse, and everyone sharing with their 2 feeling words. Then we're going to do a brief meditation together, and I'll give you a different style of meditation that's fairly easy within 5 or 10 minutes, so that you can experience different ways of stress reduction. And then we'll do some type of movement, either Tai Chi or yoga or something, some type of movement to get our body circulated. And we will do a journaling. I'm going to lecture for about an hour on physical detox, then mental detox, then the following week emotional detox, and the last week we'll go into like how to bring this all together and how you can live this way after your altered eating changes and you're feeling inspired, you've dropped weight, you have more energy, more mental clarity. You're feeling like you can handle this new life ahead. And oftentimes that's what we want. Let's let go of those toxins, toxic people, toxic substances. Let it all go for 30 days and just bring love, self-awareness. This is a great program. So contact me, Samana, SAMANA, at Spaluna, SPALUNA.com, or my phone number. You can text. My phone is always on silent, so it doesn't matter what time frame or what part of the world you're contacting me from. It won't disturb me. 808-283-7587. And if you want to check out my website, it has some things on there, some descriptions from before, and that is Spaluna, SPALUNA.com. And that's it for today. So blessings to all of you in this wonderful heat of August. On the 21st, we are soon going into Virgo time in a couple of days. This is a time for focus and detoxifying. The time of Virgo is really about removing everything that is false and not true. So sometimes we see that example as being critical and picking apart, but in its highest soul nature, the energy of Virgo, if any of you have Virgo in your charts or live or know with Virgos, or because we're going in the time of Virgo, we're all going to be ready to clean our homes, do that deep cleaning for the closet, rearrange the office, send out emails to the people that you've been wanting to connect with, all these focused things, but more so looking into yourself throughout each day and saying, what is not true? What no longer serves me, or what I'm no longer growing from? and remove it. If it's food, if it's people, if it's patterns, if it's habits. And if it interests you to do this cleanse, contact me. I look forward to this. Aloha. And any comments you ever have, text me, email me, requests for topics for podcasts. I love that. Blessings. Stay safe and well. Aloha.